Hey there, Wanderer. So, in case you missed our last video, we did our top 10 products for setting up your campsite super fast. But Daniel took the lead and showed you all of our exterior products. Today, it's my turn, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through how I handle the RV interior setup so that you can A, not break all the things in your Airstream or your RV when you're driving down the interstate, and B, so that you can get it set up fast and get to enjoying the real perks of camping. This all starts with how you set up your RV to actually move, not just when you're at your first campsite. So, today, we're moving our Airstream actually to the Airstream dealership to get a couple of little tiny tweaks made to her before baby Fernandez arrives. So I'm just gonna let you come along. It'll be fun. I'll show you how I do this. Step 1. I know you're shocked, but our Airstream isn't always perfectly clean. See, we've got a little bit of a mess to pick up first. But, don't you just love video magic? But in all seriousness, the real reason we're able to pick up the Airstream pretty quickly is because of the incredibly amazing organizational system that we have in our house. So if you haven't seen our organizational videos that we've done with Lily's organizing, I'll make sure to leave a link for that here so you can check that out. Because having a home for all of your stuff in a tiny space is really a critical part to being able to spend less time picking up and setting up and more time doing the fun stuff. Another really cool thing we learned from the Lily's organizing team is that anything and everything you can do to ensure that there aren't as many things sitting on your counters will help with your setup and breakdown of your campsite. So one of those first things that we did when we implemented our organizational system with them is pull as many things as we could off of the counters. One of those things is our knife block. And people ask us all the time, how do we travel with this? So I'm gonna show you. In our closet, we keep this super cool, handy dandy knife carrier. And yes, it's for a professional chef. And also everything that I'm gonna show you in this video, most of it is either in a link below in the description or it's on our Amazon store, which also has a link in the description so that you can actually purchase this stuff yourself. But this way we can actually travel with our knives and not have to worry about whether or not they are going to move around as the RV moves. So, as you can see, easy little sheaths that we put them in here. Oh, this is the wrong size. It makes it super friendly for transportation and travel days. Ta-da! Travel ready. And back in the closet they go. One of the things that I like to make sure I'm doing when I'm breaking down is that I do it in a circle. And the reason that I do it this way is because there are so many little pieces that it's easy to forget something. And sure, some people are checklist humans. I happen to not be. I prefer just to create a system to make it work and then avoid the checklist. I always start in the kitchen. Sometimes that means we have dishes to clean. Thankfully, that's not the case today, but taking out the trash is part of this. I have a home under the sink for all of the items that hang out over here by my sink. This ponytail holder seems a little out of place, but it's a super efficient little hack. Anytime we travel, I stick it on there right there. And that way, when things are moving around, I don't have to worry about this little doogie coming undone and making the water run. Because, well, just saying, it's happened before. All of these things go in their little home and are moved underneath here. So now we're on to the next step. These are our gallon water bottles. We've been doing this challenge where we're drinking a full gallon of water every day. So in case you want to join the challenge, the link for these are also in our Amazon store, but these will go in the truck. So with my sink area clean, the only other thing that I have to move is our big, beautiful cutting board. But considering I'm only like 4 to 6 weeks away from making a mini human, Daniel's gonna do the heavy lifting today.
Okay, this can't be too heavy, right? Okay, so it's a little heavy, but I've been working out lately, so it's getting lighter every day. The goal is to put all of your heavy things on the floor because the last thing you want is for something this heavy to come crashing through the glass on the oven or to kind of bang into things along the way. So it's very important you keep your heaviest things lowest to the ground.
So I'm going to leave the kitchen trash where it is right now because we've got some trash in the bathroom that also probably needs to be dumped. But the only other thing that I'm looking at in my kitchen and knowing that needs to be done is I am missing the little covers for the sink. Let me show you where we use those. This is actually a really cool idea we got from our friends at the Airstream Classic Facebook page. And these little covers make great little side tables so that you don't have to worry about cup rings and things of that nature. They go back over here when we travel. Now that I have everything off of the counter in the kitchen, we're gonna keep heading back this way. Thankfully, I don't really have to worry about our closet. These doors don't move, so that's perfect. If we've been using the restroom and taking showers, sometimes I have to put these up, but as you can see, those are already nice and tidy. So the shower is the next thing that I'm gonna take care of. And this is where we've got one of my favorite hacks for making things quick. Inside of our shower, you'll notice that we have all of these cool shampoo and soap caddies. These are from SimpleHuman. We're super fans of these. And the reason that this speeds up my setup and breakdown process is that I don't have to worry about any of our regular shower things just sitting and hanging out on the shower stool. So the only thing that I have to worry about with the shower is first, I like to just tuck this way. Just on the crazy off chance that some water came out of it, I want to make sure that it's going to be going towards the inside of the shower and not the outside. And then the other thing is the fan. In our Airstream and in most RVs, you've got fans that actually extend to the inside and outside. You want to make sure that all of those are pulled in prior to moving your RV, because we've heard horror stories about people forgetting to pull those down and them like blowing off, having something hit them, etc., and them not working anymore. And considering that's one of the things that's like outside of the Airstream, definitely don't want there to be damage there. Only other thing with the fan down is that I'm just gonna put that little lock in place and shower's ready to go. As we come back to our bedroom, thankfully there's not a whole lot just to have set up here. We're a little bit of bookaholics around here, so I need to get all the things that are off of the bedside table to the side here, because in just a minute I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these. The good news is, with the way we have all of our clothes organized here in the bedroom, none of this stuff is going to move. We've set it up so that our containers all measure appropriately, and when the earthquake happens as we're going down the interstate, everything stays in place, which makes things a lot simpler. Grabbing the stuff off the side table over here, got some more books, trusty Google Home, and also our Verizon internet setup. This is something that is kind of sensitive, so I do set this up with my clothes so that it has tons of good padding and I don't have to worry about it bumping around here. All right. With all of this cleared off, we're headed over to the bathroom. We've made the bathroom really easy too, and it really is because of the organizational system that we have in here. So you'll notice more SimpleHuman stuff. We use our regular soap in this one, and then a lotion that can be used on a daily basis as well. So really the only things that I have to move are Daniel's shaver, some poopery, which is very important for RV life, and I actually leave that little nightlight in there. So I have this set up so that we have our paper goods stored in this little side bin, and there's plenty of room to just tuck these nicely in here, get that closed, and as you can see, everything is off of the counter. Another product that I love that also is super helpful in keeping things off of the counter spaces is our little toilet brush holder over here. We used to have these that we stuck on the floor with 3M tape. This one sticks to the wall and is way more efficient. And it cleans itself. last but not least, we're gonna dump the trash from out in here. And, oh, not last but not least, next to last but not least, we also have a fan in here. So this one happens to already not be shut, is shut now, but this is another thing that we make sure that is done before we actually leave. Okay, trash time. Super exciting. Okay, we'll deal with that in a minute. Since right now I'm just focused on making sure things are off the walls, this is also something little that I pull off before we travel. And I love these macrames. This is another way that we keep fruits and veggies off of the kitchen counters, which is really convenient. Again, in our Amazon store. Then the next thing that I know to work on is ensuring that our pantry is actually locked. Now, this setup is something that we had added, that the team over at Rocket RV did for us. But one of the things that we used to run into is when we would get back or get to our next campsite, this beautiful cabinetry, or this beautiful pantry, which we love, would find its way out. This door doesn't actually have a little lock, so there wasn't really anything we could do about it, and then it would lead to glass breaking. One time it was a can of hot sauce, and it looked like a murder scene in here. Like, hot sauce was everywhere. It was over the top. It was so bad. So that's why they helped us to invent this little lock for the pantry, which is super simple, but it just simply clicks in there. So I guess you could go to Home Depot and pick up these little gadgets, but it has saved us so much heartbreak in getting to new campsites because our pantry actually locks now. So I always do that as I'm coming around the circle. As I'm continuing around, the next thing I always check is our refrigerator. So it has a handy dandy little locking mechanism to it, but you have to make sure you hear that click. If you don't hear the click, that's when you get blueberries rolling all over the floor when you get back. So, perfect. Clicked on both of those. Good to go. I always check, make sure our TV is pushed all the way back in. And I also check to ensure that our Aldi system, which controls our propane, is all turned off. So, electric down, propane off. That's solid. So we're good there. Couple things left on the kitchen table that I'm going to throw in the back, because in a minute I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with all of these random knickknacks that do live around the Airstream. Oh, and also one little sneaky guy. So underneath this table is where we have moved our air filtration system. I'm fine with leaving it here because it's just not going to move around much with it being tucked under the table, but I do unplug all the electronics. Now that I have everything off of the countertops, now I just need to start packing stuff up. And I make this as efficient as possible. I'm gonna leave these pillows because they just don't really move. One really convenient little ad that we made was with this 3M Velcro tape, so that these actually just stick right on the side of the Airstream. Easy access, don't lose them, and they don't move while we travel either, which works great. Alright, so this isn't really that exciting, but it is part of the breakdown anytime we're leaving a campground. We just simply dump the trash. What's great about this particular campground we're staying at, they pick up your trash for you, but not all of them do. Also, I have a home for trash bags. It's just right underneath here as well. That makes it super easy to swap these out. This is like definitely on my top 5 things for inconvenient for full-time living is this teeny tiny little trash can. We probably dump it like once a day, and it's super inefficient, but we haven't come up with a smarter solution yet. So if you have a really smart solution for how you can have a bigger trash can, leave it in the comments below. We'd love to know. But I don't want to see it out because that would be ugly. Trash completed. Now it's time to go get my handy dandy bin. Part of Daniel's exterior work is that he's going to bring me in this bin that's usually in the back of the truck. Don't worry, it's not heavy. Let's bring it on in. So I use this for storing all of the little items that I keep out on the cabinets, but I also store the items that I need to ensure things don't break as we're going down the road. So one of those things is towels, and this is about as old of a camping trick as there is out there, but I simply put towels in places that have a lot of extra space so that things won't bump around and move. That one I specifically always use for my pantry, and this one is for all of my dishes. And yes, I have real dishes. These are not plastic. They're actually made out of, I don't know, but these are on our Amazon store, and we have been using these since we started, and I've only broken one of these bowls. It wasn't during travel. It was because the floor monster got it. AKA, that's what we say around here when I drop things. It's not an unusual occurrence. I'm just gonna tuck this right up here. Fill up that extra space. Make sure everything fits nice and good. Ta-da! The rest of the things in this box are honestly kind of random things that still need a home. But they fit with the things that I'm going to put away that I've been gathering on the bed in the back. So, let's go take care of that. This is pretty simple and straightforward. I have a rule that we're only allowed to have as many knickknacks as fit in this box. So, it's not a perfect system, but it works really well. This is actually going to go in the floor of our bathroom because it's a tight little space that it fits perfectly in, so it doesn't move around much. But now that I've added all of these things in here, it is getting a little heavy.
Whoa! Wait your turn. Need some help with something?
Yep. Can you move my box, please?
Yes. Get that for you, pretty lady. Voila.
See? Fits great. Nice and snug. And you'll notice Daniel put the toilet lid down. The next step is I put down all of the blinds. And some people think that this step really isn't necessary. But again, it's going to be an earthquake in here. I don't really want these nice expensive blinds to be rattling and falling. So I pull them all down. And plus, I think that also keeps it cooler in here while we're traveling, especially during the summer months. So when you actually get to the campsite, is it going to be hot if you've been traveling for 4 hours? Absolutely. But I'd like to think that it's a little less warm because we've actually kept the shades closed and the sun hasn't been burning into the Airstream while we've traveled. Shades closed. Now we're pretty much set up. The only thing left that I have to do is turn the RV on away mode, get the door locked, and we're ready to go on the inside. What I do to set her up when we arrive to the campsite is basically do what I just showed you in speed mode backwards. One of the things I will note that I always do when I set up the campsite is before I do all of that, I go in and I do a good clean because it is so much easier to clean the Airstream when there isn't stuff everywhere. And this is pretty much as clean as it ever is going to be. So that speeds things up for me too. Oh, and best thing ever. Let me show you this product. This Dyson animal vacuum is a small living game changer. This is probably one of my favorite products that we have purchased in the last 6 months that speeds up the time that it takes to clean the Airstream, which isn't really that long to start, but because it is wireless and it doesn't have a cord, I can use it before Daniel actually plugs in the power, and it's just super easy and convenient. So, favorite product right here. Yes, it's pricey, but totally worth it. Plus, since we got this, this has become a regular occurrence.
Lauren basically told me there is nothing sexier than a man with a vacuum, so for you guys out there, pro tip, get yourself a handy dandy vacuum because your girlfriend or wife is going to think you're sexy.
I mean, I'm not wrong, am I, ladies? With the Airstream ready to go and prepped for me to be able to clean it nice and easily when we bring her back to our campsite in a couple of days, that's a wrap on how I handle the RV interior setup for our Airstream, which is obviously really relevant whether you're in an Airstream or any other type of RV. But until next week, my friend, make sure that you get out and wander local because, as you know, it's good for the soul.